All right. Good morning, everybody. Ooh, it's a Monday morning. We got some rain in LA. We got Steve Zaragoza. We got Elliot Morgan. Cool Elliot Morgan today. Like when Steve Urkel takes the pill or the serum and turns into.
No, it wasn't a serum. Wasn't it a machine?
Was it a machine?
Big machine.
Yeah, it was like the Fly.
And then remember the robot Urkel? That was insane.
They really went off the rails.
Oh, and it's like you guys want us to believe this show is grounded in reality in some way, and then
it
all
got
of a sudden
insane.
you have a learning AI robot that's just like walking around and shit, and no one gives a shit. They just think it's funny.
Dude, that show was not grounded in reality the first time Urkel busted through the door without knocking.
No, Joe. No, that's not true. There was a time when you could go to anyone's house and open the door and come in and go, "You got any cheese?"
Don't feel like watching movies, so I'll watch people guess them instead. I don't know how it goes. I think it starts with your show.
And this was before Family Matters.
Well, yeah, it was this perfect era in history. It was like 1984 to 1985. You could just bust through somebody's door.
Anyone's home you want. And if you were funny and lovable, they would just take you in.
That's what
smart.
we hear.
Yeah.
And they would let you do that every day. And if they had a hot daughter, you could just hit on her all you want.
Right in front of the dad.
Right in front of the dad. And the dad'll be kind of scary about it, but never do shit about it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
It's called passive aggressive.
Nowadays, you can't get away with that. If somebody says, something like a joke about your wife or something, you have absolutely no recourse. You can't walk up and slap them like you might want to.
And here we are, everybody, Monday morning, post Oscars, post what Richard Cheese on Twitter dubbed the slappening.
The slappening. So
first
was it
there
a
was
slap
the fappening.
It was a slap for sure and not a punch.
It was a slap. It was a straight on, like it looked like an NPC walking up to another NPC in a video game, and then just this weird like gentleman slap.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Well, that was clearly thrown by somebody who was taught stage combat. It was crazy.
Was it by? Yeah, it was. That's a great one. Was it by his like? I couldn't tell if he like hit the ball of his hand against Chris Rock, like really forcefully, or if it was like a slap.
And it was
so obviously we're talking about Will Smith slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars.
Unbelievable.
And if you don't know if you don't know what we're talking about, then wow, please check it out.
They 100% know what we're talking about.
That event. So the way I found out about it was in the group thread, the Brain Trust text thread. Joe sent a video.
That's how I found out.
Yeah, and I watched it, and it brought me back to reality so quickly. Like, it woke me up. I couldn't sleep last night. I was like, I don't know. This is I felt alive for the first time in a really long time. And thank you, because I'm still in shock and I can't believe it. But what a gift entertainment-wise.
I want to do a deep dive into this because I really want to talk about it with you guys because it's truly...
We know this, by the way, we know this is coming out Wednesday. You're going to be tired of all the hot takes and stuff. We're just recording this on a Monday.
This is the next day for us.
So bear with us.
We have to get this out of our system.
Bear with us.
We got one sleep. I mean, look, pop culture is going to squeeze the fuck out of this lemon. And we're never going to hear the end of this for a while. So buckle up and get ready for all the memes and hot takes and funny jokes about what is probably the most interesting thing that has happened at the Oscars for a very long time.
Well, not that long. Moonlight and La La Land wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, but whatever. Okay, fine. But before that, there was like nothing. Nothing ever happened at the Oscars. Like the two things I can think about that happened at the Oscars are the Moonlight thing and this.
And I mean, this like blows the Moonlight thing out of the water.
Oh, the Moonlight thing is like nothing compared.
That was like cringe, and this was like, why are my dads fighting?
Yes, and it was like And it's happening. The world is different now. We live in a different world now because we have Will Smith, who is basically the most charming, well-composed, well-spoken, intelligent, like one of the most intelligent celebrities out there. I
won't go with intelligent because I don't know, but I will say charismatic and beloved and liked.
This is what I was saying. I was like,
Likeable.
This is like if Tom Hanks did this.
It's about a step. It's about the only thing that could be crazier is if Tom Hanks did it. Yeah, that would be the only.
Yeah,
could you imagine?
Same wheelhouse.
I saw something like next year. I want to see Tom Hanks just rip Ricky Gervais's dick off. I have bloodlust.
Tom Hanks just rips Ricky Gervais's nipples off through his shirt. Get my wife's name.
Get
my son Chet's name out of here.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Like he's got a Chet Hanks joke, dude. But okay, and then I mean we're not talking about the most unfortunate aspect of this because I think about Will Smith's career and I think about how. Obviously, this man is a living legend. He was part of a television program that changed television, and it was a very much beloved show. And then he went out to do a bunch of movies and shit, most of them bad. And then he's been going for that coveted Best Actor award forever. Right?
You got to back up 2 steps, though. Most of his movies were not bad.
Can we say most of them?
No.
This is a hot take, but I'm going to go to IMDb right now.
No, not most of his movies. We got Men in Black 1 and 2, not 3. We got Independence Day. We got Enemy of the State. We got Ali.
Yeah, but you could probably name
Bad Boys.
You could probably name 10 really good movies Will Smith has done.
I'm going to need you to walk that statement back.
Out of 80 million.
iRobot's awesome. Steve, time to walk it back.
Yeah. This is my hot take.
No.
The zombie one? What about the zombies?
That's not a great movie.
I agree. That movie's not great. But people like it.
I think he's done more bad movies than good ones. That's my
Happiness. I don't think that's true.
Are you ready? I'm going to go down the list right now.
You get slapped for every good movie.
What the fuck is 6 Degrees of Separation?
That's a big movie that people liked back in the day.
Never saw it.
Unbelievable film.
Unbelievable. What's your favorite part, Elliot?
Oh, right. When he's like, whoa, this is the last degree of separation. I can't believe it.
Are we on the 5th degree?
I think for every good movie he's done 2 bad movies.
That's fair. What do you want from him?
Because you've got Independence Day, which is a fucking classic. Men in Black is great. Men in Black 2 is fine.
It's great.
Men in Black 3, no.
Not as great, but still a trilogy. I wouldn't put it in the bad camp.
Wild Wild West. No.
Is bad, but a classic.
Heard it's fun.
I'm just talking about.
I saw a meme today that somebody posted. It said both of these people won Oscars last night, and it was Will Smith in Wild Wild West talking to Kenneth Branagh in Wild Wild West.
Damn, that's awesome. Okay, Shark Tale, garbage.
Irrelevant.
Hitch.
People like Hitch.
Great movie.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying these are movies people like. Hancock.
One of the best movies.
I like Hancock. That's not, but
I still think our justice scales of Will Smith are still tipping pretty positive.
All right, you ready for this? Let me drop a big one that's gonna tip it. After Earth.
Okay.
Fine.
Aladdin.
Okay.
Oh, awful.
Gemini Man.
Pile. Okay, you can see where he falls off.
Bright.
What was Bright?
That trash Netflix movie.
Oh yeah, Bright.
I'm telling you, man. For every one good movie, there's 2 bad ones.
I still think he skews positive.
But
I have a memory
Oh, go ahead.
Steve, of you going to see Gemini Man and then making a bunch of tweets that sounded like you were trying really hard to make it
Dude.
sound like a good movie.
Okay, but here's the thing, because sometimes, not all the time, I'll be brutally honest about a movie that I saw. Here's the thing about Gemini Man. Gemini Man was awesome in the way it was meant to be seen, which was never shown anywhere, and no one got to see it this way. But it was in the 60 frames per second thing that Peter Jackson did with The Hobbit.
Oh, that makes you feel a little weird.
Looked like a fucking video game and shit.
Yeah.
But it was like that and 3D. And it was only shown that way at the premiere and nowhere else ever again. And if people had seen it like that, it would have been like watching a movie or like a like one of those 3D rides at a theme park.
Steve liked it, and the justice scales tip, and everything falls everywhere.
Anyway, all right. So, but the point I'm trying to make is that this guy got a best actor Oscar last night. And no one will ever remember that.
Man,
Do you guys haven't seen that movie, right? There's no way.
No, but I've heard it's incredible.
I haven't
Really?
seen
Great.
anything that was at the Oscars except for Dune and the incredibly
Yeah.
robbed Mitchell versus the Machines.
Oh, nice.
What do you think this does for movies when something like this happens? Is it a detriment to movies, the movie industry?
Absolutely nothing. It means more
Does it
people
get
watch
people
the
more
Oscars
interested?
at that moment than had been watching it in years. It's going to be the aftermath. It's going to be everything that happens after, where we determine where people have a day after Earthmath. Because people are like talking about like taking his Oscar away and stuff, but then that's incredible hypocrisy for all the other people who did horrible things who still have Oscars that were never taken away, even though they did things that were fucking reprehensible.
They're not taking this off.
Well,
They're not.
Joe, you tweeted out. You tweeted. My voice is changing. Joe, you tweeted out something funny about saying the SourceFed video is going to be funny about this.
Yeah,
Which
tomorrow's
means
SourceFed video is gonna be spicy. How
And
many?
I-
Yeah.
and it's a really funny tweet, and it's great. But my question to you is because right now people are like, there's so much anger at Will Smith saying like, ban him from the Oscars and shit. And it's crazy, but that's like now, right? Like social heat is real hot right now. So what do you think? How do you think people would have handled this back in the SourceFed days?
Well, first off, I think the anger is justified because you strip everything away and you think of the exact moment and what happened, where it happened, how it happened, the live nature of 12 million plus people watching. Like, what you take every variable of that moment and you cannot help but say that was some crazy people shit that happened. That was just insanity. There's no justification in any world.
No.
Any world.
We can go into the dark side of it, because there is the dark side, but it was like that was an insane thing to do, and some sort of like glitch in his brain.
Yeah.
You don't do that. You don't walk up and slap a comedian. Yeah. And
Especially
he
him.
he had enough time to walk all the way up there, think about it, do it, and then walk back and adjust his suit like that was like, I did my role. Like, that was insane. And then they did this whole like PR apology that came out of nowhere that was creepy, and how like well packaged it was, and everyone was like, we don't buy this, you can't put that back in the box. And he's like not apologizing to Chris Rock, he's only apologizing to the Academy and then the other nominees, which it all sounded a little bit like Illuminati to me, where he was like, I hope the Academy lets me back. It's like, why don't you apologize to all of your fans that are just confused as crap right now? That's my opinion on it. And here's what I think.
Back
real quick.
and watch the rest of the Oscars.
Yeah, everyone did. Everyone acted like nothing happened, which was crazy. Here's my idea, though, for just to cut in the SourceFed video. Here's what I would have done for the SourceFed video. It would have looked like a solo video, and I would have given an opinion on it. Would have made a joke. Joe would have come in, slapped me. Joe would have said it. Steve would have come in, slapped
that's
Joe.
what I was thinking too.
On and on.
Everyone
And
just
it would have
keeps
been
coming.
a 45-minute video. Yeah.
Like and then finally at the end, like Phil comes in and slaps Joe.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: it is a further solidifying of the fact that we could not and would not want to do SourceFed right now, because if we made that video, we would be destroyed.
Okay,
I
but
don't know. It'd be so fun though. It'd be so funny
right now. But I'm
Right
talking
now.
about back then, like, because Elliot, you seem
back
mad.
then we would have went to town.
Are you Elliot? Are you mad at Will Smith?
No, I'm not mad at Will Smith. I'm thankful that was the most entertaining thing I've seen in years, and it made me feel alive. But I do genuinely think it was a bad thing to do.
Yeah.
And I think it's really sad.
Because you're right. There's no class in that kind of move. And Will Smith has always been seen to me as like this kind of classy, down to earth kind of guy. And it's like not a move he would do. And that's why it's so shocking. But I gotta think about how, like, I'm not a violent person. I would never do a violent thing. Whatever. I don't know what my brain is capable of in the heat of intense anger. And the thing is like Will Smith has been basically like a punching bag lately because of all the Jada Pinkett Smith stuff. And
it's been a lot.
And
that's fair.
and his wife is like really sick, and I guess that's like a pain in the ass, awful thing to have to go through. And for all we know, there's like really awful shit going on at home while this stuff's going on, and then you're gonna make him a punching bag during this really.
I see you trying to get there, Steve, but you're not gonna get there.
But here's the thing: for me, I'm not justifying it, but I understand to some degree the frustration someone might feel in the realm of being a punching bag and being made fun of for his wife cheating on him and all that stuff, and like all those things that he's been trying to defend and like stay away from and shit. And then Chris Rock throws out the stupidest joke, which was
such a bad joke.
Funny, and it was like a boomer joke.
Yeah,
like it was bad. Like most people who were like interested in it probably had no idea what G.I. Jane was and what the reference even was.
No, it was very weak.
It was such a weak joke, and it was like whatever.
How weak it was, real quick side tangent before you go on. The amount of laughs that came out of the theater, probably uncomfortable laughs, was still also insanity in the moment. There was like belly laughs after he said that, including from Will Smith, by the way.
Yeah, which is people have been talking about that, and about how like in the moment you're just kind of like because the camera's on you. But I don't know, man. Yeah. There was a moment where it kind of I just feel like like one time I punched my refrigerator because I was so mad at someone, and it was during this time where it was like
I was sorry.
Well, real low point. Real low point in my life, and I felt like real shitty, and I never do anything like that, and it was stupid, and I ended up breaking my finger, and it was so stupid. But in a world where you're pushed to the very edge, like you do stupid things sometimes, and like I think
he did a stupid thing sometimes, I guess.
Yeah, and the thing is like for all the things Will Smith has done, it's almost like, come on, let the guy have this one. make fun of him forever about it, for sure. And Chris Rock's not going to press charges, so nothing is going to happen in the world about it. So we might as well just kind of like, get over it already.
It's just, yeah. Did you guys see what Andy Mogren posted?
No. Wait, should we watch it? Oh,
Andy went bold.
Oh man.
Keep her out of your mouth. Oh, Andy. He went for it.
He just
G.I. Jane too. Yeah, I mean, it's like, what is this? There is I don't like the whole narrative of putting like stand-up comics on a pedestal and acting like they're like, saints,
untouchable,
untouchable, and like, but at the same time, like, that's a really crazy thing to think about in terms of that level of joke gets said every night in comedy clubs everywhere, and there's like an unspoken thing that you don't walk up to the comedian and assault them for it, even if they touch on something that you're highly sensitive about at a bad time. Like, it's just sort of part of. I hate to do like that. It's a joke, but it was a joke, Like,
but it's not just a comedian thing. That's like a human thing. Like
it's a human thing.
You don't go up and just cold cock somebody, especially at the Oscars. For
I
me,
guess I can
it was-
extend assault. I guess you're right. Assault is bad across.
But what if someone never tells you no, and you're like you live in a weird world where like, and you can do whatever you want.
Nope.
It's like a weird, different situation. Like we'll never know. We'll never know.
I don't
Like, I'm not trying
agree.
to,
I don't agree.
Look,
I don't
I'm
agree.
not trying to justify assault. Period.
It's technically battery.
Well, I'm not trying to justify violence because of a joke or something. Whatever. Like I just think like I'm not saying Will Smith is like innocent. I'm just saying that there's just so many things we'll never understand about the situation. And it's like Will Smith really wanted to just prove how much he loves his wife at the Oscars.
I think he was Pavlovianly hypnotized by the look that Jada gave, which made me punch the wall, by the way. The look that she gave him in that moment, I think he was like, he panicked and he was like, "Oh, I'm in trouble."
Here's the thing.
Did you see the look? I didn't see the look.
The look was like the laser in Real Genius.
Whoa.
And it just obliterated a straight line across humanity.
Let me ask you guys something.
She slap activated him.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys something. And look, again, I'm really very much like, I don't support him doing that, but I think that because we'll never get a resolution that will satisfy any of us, we can kind of just come to our own conclusions and shit. But for me, and none of this matters, and it's all conjecture, but for me, it's like, okay, so here's my question to you guys. In the history of televised, let's just go to the Oscars. In the history of the Oscars, with people roasting people, like Ricky Gervais roasting people and going too far sometimes, and then it cutting to the celebrity looking real shocked about it, and then cutting back, and then that's just the whole thing, and you have to just kind of like deal with it. In the history of that, don't you think it's okay for someone to respond to a roast joke in an aggressive way? Like, I've never seen it. I've never
Not
seen
with violence.
Not with violence, but someone doing something about a joke that hurts them. I've never seen it. I've never seen celebrities react to a joke that hurts them.
I think you're
in an
making the point.
aggressive way.
You've never seen it.
Yeah.
We've never seen it because it shouldn't happen.
saying. But that's what I'm saying. Like in the history of it, can't we have a sprinkling of reaction?
I don't understand your point.
I'm saying in all
we got a sprinkling.
That's what I'm saying. In all the times in the big timeline of people roasting people and hurting them personally from a roast, isn't it okay in that timeline to have one celebrity react to that in a way that's like we've never seen before?
I appreciate, Steve, how you're trying to enter imaginatively into the perspective of Will Smith in an effort to not have too one-sided of an opinion on it. However, I think if you enter imaginatively into Will Smith's scenario, you realize that he's what he revealed is he's pretty far removed from reality a little bit. And I think that is the unfortunate part. But in terms of it slapping, it is like a fantasy. Because in my mind, I'm always like, all right, someone's going to do this.
Right. And that's what everyone's saying, like fool around and find out. Like there's a lot of people saying shit like that. And look, I'm not firmly in any one opinion about this. I'm just saying that, you know, because we can talk about it to infinity because we'll never know any other details about it because it's probably just going to be like, I don't even know. Because like, even if you think about it, like Chris Rock now is going to ride a PR train like he would have never gotten in the real world.
Dude, Chris Rock
at this point in his career,
other than the bad joke, is coming out on top. That's
what I'm saying. He wins.
He took the hit, was like, what the fuck? I would say
handled it well.
Made a pretty good joke.
I love that joke. I cracked up.
What was the joke?
Well, this is the greatest night in television history or something like that. It was
but he was also you could also see how shocked he was.
Oh, he was shocked, but he was also professional. He looked to the side. He's like, we're gonna keep going? And we're gonna keep going.
Well, and he even like fucked up the like teleprompter line because his brain is.
If he would have nailed that line, that would have been the greatest moment. But he also, did you hear him go? oh, I could, you must, like, you could,
he almost said something.
dude, he had more jokes in the chamber. Like, he was ready to say stuff, but then he was just like, he
was
moved on.
he was the better man in this situation for sure. But he's gonna like ride this thing. He benefits from this in a big way.
Maybe he doesn't talk about it anymore because, again, the not pressing charges and that, like, again, it messed up so much.
Well, think of how lame it would have been if he pressed charges. just in a funny way.
Oh,
you know, like
to make a further point about did we deserve this just once after everybody getting roasted? Let's contend that yes, maybe
devil's advocate. I'm not saying I'm not.
But this wasn't the moment when it was at the biggest night in entertainment, right before, again, what should have been the coup de grace of this guy's career. And then he had to go up there, and I tweeted out, I was like, I hope he wins. Oh my God. Just because, like, you wanted to watch the train wreck. And oh my God.
We did.
It was a train wreck.
What do you think he regrets more? Doing this or saying no to Django Unchained?
I think that's a great question. Because if he had not said no to Django Unchained, I bet none of this would have ever happened.
I agree, dude.
You know what else wouldn't have happened? Gemini Man. Netflix one.
After Earth and Bright.
That's where it went wrong.
Man, crazy. So much. And there's 7 different layers of conversation we're not even having about it all.
I know. We got to get it all out of our system. Let's just get it all out of our system. Because for me, like, okay, so taking the politics out of it, we'll come back to it. When I first saw that clip, I was like, this has to be some kind of stunt, right? Like they're promoting a movie, or they talked about this beforehand. And then when you analyze the thing that caused him to do that, you're like, that's the weakest joke ever to go. Like, this doesn't look cool. like you don't look awesome after that joke, getting aggressive and going and punching someone. That's not the period. That's not the message. It didn't land. You know, the point didn't land.
It wasn't funny enough to do it.
It wasn't funny enough to call for a slap, but but I thought it was fake, because when you look at it, it looks like it's like weird. There's something weird about the slap, and like the moment.
I think Joe put it perfectly. It's a guy who's gotten stage combat but hasn't gotten. Right. Like, do a real fight.
Yeah, maybe not been in a real fight. Who knows?
He looked like a action figure.
Well, Joe was right saying it looked like an NPC. It looked like video game characters fighting each other. But I was convinced. I was like, man, is this fake? Maybe this is fake.
Well, you know what else made it look fake was the fact that it was filmed to perfection. Like, it looked so good.
Yeah.
The whole walk up of Will Smith. Like, it looked like it was angle
blocked. Yeah, it looked like there was blocking in the rehearsal.
You see, like, the close up of Chris Rock's face just going like, "What's going on? What's the problem?"
Yeah, he's like laughing, like, "Uh-oh, here comes a bit. Let's go with this fun bit."
Yes, they are.
And that Nicole Kidman picture is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Man, so the fact that, like, he got up. He walked all the way down the runway. He struck a man. He walked all the way back. And
then continued to be like,
one security get up. Not once did anybody. Oh my God. Incredible. What an incredible night in pop culture, with so much bad and so little good, other than all of the hot takes that we're going to get for the rest of the
all the monologues that we're going to get, like how all the late night monologues are going to be great. All the writers on all the late night shows are like, fuck, which one's better? Which joke is better?
I know.
It's last night on Twitter, like, reminded me of when Trump went to the hospital with COVID, and like that on Twitter was a great night, because everyone, regardless of your stance on it, was making pretty hilarious jokes about Trump getting COVID and going to the hospital. And it was really fun. And now with this one, it was super fun for a while. And then after a while, everybody starts coming in with the jokes about the jokes, the memes, and then the really serious takes on all of it. And it just gets like, all right, this is just what the internet does, I guess.
So, like,
And-
what needs to happen now? Like, Will Smith, it needs to be so sorry, everyone's convinced he's sorry, and then he could be beloved again, or like, is this gonna follow him forever, and people are gonna be angry at him forever?
I wonder if you think about this in terms of like, imagine it didn't happen at the Oscars and he was, it was like a paparazzi video.
Yeah,
and
like
the
at a bar.
was doing it and slapped the crap out of somebody who wasn't also like a celebrity. I wonder if that would change the dynamic because I doubt it. I'm sure no one would think about it if it was just another
100%
person.
would change the dynamic. Even
Yeah,
if
like,
it was
no one would
Chris
care.
Rock. It's the venue. It's the timing.
Yeah, it's all the other
I mean,
stuff,
we have
right?
all the evidence. We have all the evidence.
So like, does anybody though, like, I don't know if anybody will really care on like a legal level.
Outside of Twitter, outside of the entertainment world. Yeah.
With all the crazy stuff, I feel like everyone's just like, okay, sure, this now.
Yeah.
There's way more important stuff. Like this shall take like the next 48 hours of the news cycle, and then we'll get back to Ukraine and we'll get back to COVID and all the other crazy shit going in the world. I was talking to Tyler Jacobson and John Payne about it last night, and for me, it's just an indication that everybody's still fucking riled up. Everybody's pissed off, everybody's angry, and everybody's looking for a reason to lash out. And that's honestly, that's kind of what we've been leading to since 2016. Things changed when the public discourse changed with Trump in the way that what was unleashed in that and what's okay to do on a daily basis when it comes to releasing your anger and your combative side. And we haven't healed from it. And this is just another version of it. Like nobody does this.
Nope.
But he's pissed, and everybody thinks it's okay to fucking just lash out.
Yeah.
Now. And he lashed out.
Yeah.
And we'll move on.
I think we'll heal from this.
Do you think he'll make a YouTube video about this?
Yeah.
He'll do a YouTube apology.
He'll do one of his hypercut Instagrams.
Oh boy. He might just go underground for a while. I think there's nothing else he can really say or do at this point, right? Like it's just like he might say I'm sorry again. Maybe Chris Rock and him like hey, we're fine, we're cool, we're moving on. Like I don't know.
I mean, I don't think he should be kicked out of the Oscars or Hollywood or anything like that. Like I think that's extreme and stupid, but I think there should be some kind of, I don't know. I think the fact that he's even more of a punching bag now because of it is
that's
of a penance.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah, like the fact that in his mind he was like, I was protecting, like he was trying to come off like this big emotional speech, but as he's saying that, people are memifying him and making jokes nonstop. That is goes to show that was not the right move, because no one's going to take you as seriously now.
Well, isn't it interesting how because that kind of thinking of like, here comes my apology after the big crazy thing, and then and let me try to be as emotional as possible and as vulnerable as possible, and it's like that has the same energy to me as the Imagine video that all the celebrities did, thinking that that's like a big emotional, impactful thing. And in reality, it's just cringy and not the right time. Bad timing.
Some tweet that said that was the weirdest 18-minute speech I've ever listened to in my entire life. Because I was like, what is this? What?
Well, because it's important. Because it's important after something like that happens for you to be like, let's handle this in the absolute best way possible.
Yeah.
And it looks like they didn't even try to do that.
So, like I said, I tweeted out, he has to win it now because, oh my God, like the train wreck you want to watch. However, when he got his name announced, I had so much anxiety because I was mentally putting myself in his shoes and going, what do you say? What do you do at that moment?
Yeah. Dude. Grace hid under a blanket and then left the house. She exited the house.
So here's what they're saying about. Well,
wait,
I don't have quotes or whatever.
Do you think Will Smith, and of course the different like crazy celebrity mind aside, do you think he wanted to win in that moment?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like that's kind of where I want to go in the conversation right now, because like what I've heard about that movie he did. What's it called?
King Richard.
What I've heard about King Richard is that his performance is like incredible. Like if it was going to be the time for Will Smith to win an Oscar, it was for that, for sure. So it was almost like in the bag for a lot of people that were like, it's so good and he was so good. So it's like, to me, I'm thinking, would it have been better for him to not win and then have this King Richard movie kind of just disappear, and then eventually down the road he gets another nomination, and then that's where his best picture or best actor thing comes from? Or is it like it's because it's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate that that award is just tainted by this absolute awful moment.
I would say
didn't want him to win it at all.
For him, I don't know what's best for him, and maybe hypothetically that would be better if he won for something else later. For me personally, him winning was absolutely the best case scenario.
Yeah, for comedians it is.
It may, and also just the simulation breaking down in such a way where it's like we all knew he was going to win. It was like, of course he's going to win. There's no way, and then. It did happen. You're like still shocked. You're like, oh, this doesn't get any better than this. Right. It's a script that's being written. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's just like, because let's think of a timeline where he didn't win. What is it? Is it still a huge thing?
Yes. The only thing that would have been better is if he didn't win and then walked up and slapped the presenter for not winning.
Oscar, slapped the Oscar out of his hand. Dude, but could you imagine that? That's my Oscar. He just loses
Walks
his mind.
Back.
Yeah, he slaps it and takes it. Like, okay, so if he did, but like, wouldn't it be better for him if he hadn't won? like, let's imagine a timeline where he didn't win, and then that win goes away, and the article, because a lot of the articles about it are like, it's a tainted win. And that and if we had taken the tainted win out of the equation, it would just be Will Smith doing a stupid thing at the Oscars, and then people would forget about it until next Oscars.
I guess, but also I don't watch it. I don't care enough about the Oscars at all. Like if he won and didn't hit anybody, I'd be like, good for Will Smith. Like that's awesome. He won an Oscar, and then I'd forget about it
tomorrow
immediately. Yeah.
But
this way, I will never forget him winning this Oscar. In my mind, he's the only person who's ever won an Oscar.
I know. Honestly, people who don't watch the Oscars are now like, whoa, is this going to happen at the Oscars? Does this mean that like people are going to try doing shit like this now? Like Jared Leto's going to bite somebody at the next Oscars?
Yeah.
And I almost tweeted out, because I've always enjoyed watching. Well, I used to enjoy watching the Oscars, but they're not fun anymore. And I almost tweeted out before that happened, like, God, we need to bring comedy back to the Oscars. And then he made that dumb joke and is like, maybe comedy shouldn't be at the Oscars. But like they were enjoyable when they were more of a we don't take ourselves too serious party. Like for me, the golden age was when you had Will Ferrell and Jack Black doing awesome, super creative songs that were comedic, but also super
and sketches
impressive.
And stuff. Yeah.
Where you still got to like, you put on a show. They don't put on a show now in the right way.
Billy Crystal.
Yeah.
Billy Crystal era. Yeah.
Yep. And it's not that anymore. So it's not fun to watch. So then it's just all these like Hollywood liberal West Coast elites like giving themselves hand jobs. And so the layman doesn't.
I wouldn't define what Will Smith did as a hand job.
Hey,
that's very good. That's good.
So, but now it's like these big freaking moments are the things that stick out because everything else is boring as hell.
Yep.
So
yep.
Yeah, I mean, wow, I just don't know what happens now.
Wild time, wild.
And the thing is like we're movie nerds here, and like I really like Will Smith a lot. And, you know, despite his like cringy kind of lack of self-awareness in some ways, I guess, I don't know. But I love him so much, and I love all the stuff, all the good stuff he's done is good, you know? But,
okay.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I saw this comment on Reddit that was like, Travolta is standing behind him going, "Ooh, Lord Xenu is going to be upset." And it's basically this whole thread about Scientology jokes.
Well, I was thinking Xenu could take care of this. And you know, like, I think the Scientology marketing machine could take care of it better than anybody else.
Scientology is just like, they got a little like poster up or billboards around town that are like, it's the moment the slap happens and it just says, "Who knew? Xenu."
The thing is I don't think I've been reading things saying that they're not Scientologists anymore. Is that true?
I don't
know. Oh, really?
I
have no idea.
That's what I've heard. I don't know if that's true or not, though.
Oh, man. What a...
It just doesn't seem real. It seems like the kind of thing that was set up, and then the next day you wake up and you're like, well, that was a funny bit. But we now live in a world where Will Smith slapped Chris Rock legitimately out of anger on live television
while the world watched. And the only reason we have unedited footage, because in real time, I didn't know what happened. The audio dropped out, the video dropped out. I had to refresh. I missed it live. I saw it on Twitter like 2 seconds later because I went back. But the only reason we have the unedited version is because Japan was watching
and
Australia was watching,
and
they tweeted it all out immediately.
Well, so what does that mean? Is there, so they just didn't get us? How come theirs wasn't censored like ours was? What's the story there? We don't know.
Broadcast standards, different delays, I'm assuming.
Different delays,
Man.
I wonder if they always do like every year, like, oh, Oscars hit new low ratings wise. I wonder if now it's going to be like Oscars hit new high ratings wise halfway through the ceremony. Like if they could see the spike in people just going, I guess we're going to turn this on now.
100% that happened. I guarantee it.
Do you think there's an update? Do you think there's updates
on the...
Oh, okay. Check this out. This article says Will Smith and Chris Rock have a history that predates the Oscar slap.
I think there was like other jokes that were said at a time.
Sunday night wasn't the first time Chris Rock had joked about Jada Pinkett Smith, but it may have been his last. Jesus. I hate this.
I know. It doesn't just make you hate, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay.
So Rock declared that the Smiths, as well as as well as director Spike Lee, went mad over the issue. Well, I guess, I don't know, whatever. Jada boycotting the Oscars is like me boycotting Rihanna's panties, Rock said during his opening monologue. I wasn't invited.
So he threw a joke. Yeah, jokes. The point graph of all of the takes are very fascinating, because I do sometimes feel like it's black and white, but I feel like there's black and white and gray and red and brown, and like there's everything with this, because I've seen so many people be like, get a man that defends you like Will Smith does.
I know, it's nuts.
All the way on the other side, it's triggering for those that are victims of domestic abuse and stuff. And you drop the line, I did this because of love. Like, that's not good, man. But
isn't it interesting? Because like, we could talk about like, masculinity, machismo, that whole thing of like, what did you say to my wife, or what did you say to my girlfriend? That kind of thing. Like, defending your wife, or defending, like, as a man, there's like this weird expectation when you're in a relationship, as far as like masculinity goes, for you to like protect your significant other from like those types of attacks and stuff. And it's like there's some sort of like unspoken expectation that if you're with your wife and you're a man and you're walking around somewhere and someone disrespects your wife, there's like some weird expectation for you to retaliate for that in a weird masculine way. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I would say there's a societal implication.
Yeah, so in the culture, it's like, it's almost like it's expected of you to do something, and if you don't, you're a weak man, and it's emasculating, and there's that whole, and
but
look,
nobody would have thought there was any weakness that was abound.
Right, but for
moment.
him, it seemed like he felt so strongly, especially after Jada looked at him the way that she did. That was like, if you love me, you're gonna go slap that man right now. It's almost like telepathically she said it. And there is an expectation to defend your loved ones in a way when that happens. So when it happens like in the streets, and it's not A-list celebrities, it's like, hey man, fool around and find out. And there's a whole fool around and find out movement, like you guys were saying, where people were like on Will Smith's side and saying like, yeah man, someone disrespects your wife, slap that motherfucker. It's not like he knocked him out. He didn't draw blood. It wasn't a fight. It was literally an answer to something that is expected of men in this weird culture. And I think there's this whole world of people that are like, okay with people retaliating when your loved ones are made fun of
but those are dumb people.
Yeah, but those are the people that make up most of the world.
Yeah, I think what's good is to develop a relationship where your masculinity comes out in ways that aren't violent.
Agree, but there's such a fucking huge,
like he should have just made a better joke.
But there's a pressure, Elliot, and there's a pressure,
right? And
there's a
I
societal
that,
pressure,
yeah, and it is. I think no one's, well, I would say Chris Rock's pretty close to blameless in here. But when it happened, I texted John Cozart and I said, if I'm ever at the Streamies again and you say anything about Grace, I will slap the shit out of you. And I said, keep her name out of your mouth. And he got the message, and I didn't need to slap him.
Yeah,
so there's ways to get around.
Well, and we know John had something in the chamber for the next.
Oh, that witty son of a gun!
He's got something in there.
Yeah, at this year, Will Smith would have boot kicked John right in the face if John didn't hold back at the Streamies. He was a great host.
So but like when an A-list celebrity does it's Steve, like.
What we're talking about is context again. You're saying in the streets, you're saying every day. Again, they walked into a room where they know people get made fun of. They know jokes happen. It wasn't like Anthony Hopkins, a non-comedian, making the joke, not backing up the joke at all. I know Jada is going through alopecia and stuff like that, but context matters, right? It matters. What if
Ricky Gervais told a joke about Joe Pesci and Joe Pesci went up and
shot him?
No, like what if Joe Pesci slapped Ricky Gervais? Would it be the same? What if
You're pretty great.
Again, I don't want to dip into hot take realm too much, but what if Amy Schumer made that joke last night?
I mean, nothing. Yeah, no physical thing would have happened, but a lot of angry looks and maybe like passive aggressive tweets and stuff.
Imagine if it did. Imagine if we just slapped Amy Schumer aggressive. I'd have a heart attack. I would be in the hospital. Right?
Yeah, we'd all die.
Okay, okay, Joe, when you're saying you walk into that room and there's a decorum when you're on live TV that you just kind of try to maintain, like, and I get it. As a human being, you got to know that that's not something that's ever going to be okay. But celebrities, and I'm not putting them on a pedestal like they're gods, but celebrities live a different life than we do. And it's like, we don't know they do whatever they want, man. They do whatever they want and they don't have to think about the consequences of it. So like that's not, I don't know. It's not, we can't put the same rules of our society on their society.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
You can, sure. But I'm just saying that it's not fair because they're not us. They're not us. They're a different.
Do you want to? You should go ahead and put the shovel down, Steve, because I think you're digging pretty deep a hole here.
Dude, no. Listen, again, I'm not defending anybody. I'm just saying, and I think I agree with Elliot when I say I think Chris Rock is blameless. I think he's innocent in this completely. But I just think that celebrities don't think like we do. There's no consequence filter like we have. And they don't think about like what I shouldn't do in this scenario because they get away with shit all day that we'll never comprehend. It's just a different.
I think, yeah, you can empathetically and like give the credence or give leeway for, I've heard, I was seeing some people tweet about Will Smith has had, mental health struggles and he's in therapy and he's working on stuff, and there's stuff that goes on behind the scenes that you don't know about. All that stuff I think is great. The alopecia thing, you get sort of really upset. It's a straw that breaks the camel's back and all that stuff. It's still not, you can have that, all of that, and still, I think what you're doing, saying, and you don't hit people.
Yeah, I think we're just
especially when you're basically in a comedy routine.
Yeah, like I'm not defending anybody. I'm just saying that like we can have these conversations about like because there's a lot of interesting aspects of this. Like Joe was saying, like there's 7 layers we're not even talking about here about the whole situation, and I just like to talk about like the psychology of like how celebrities don't think about the same things we do and their brains don't work like ours.
Even the way like collectively, like the mass sort of like apathy that took hold after that moment where everyone just kept going was like insane.
Well, because the show must go on.
Yeah, but it's like it was just it was such a show must go on thing, and it was like a perfectly choreographed, like, okay, it's like we stepped out of reality and then pretended everything was like back to normal.
But they were all really bad actors in that moment because you could see it on their faces from there on out. They were all just wide-eyed. They lost color in their faces.
Nothing else mattered.
Like everybody was like, we're still doing this, huh? And poor Questlove, who had to do his speech right after that, after winning that. Yeah, man.
I mean, but that's like it is weird also to just like gloss over it as a show, because it's like, I mean, show must go on is such a a statement for all Hollywood in a lot of ways. So it's like, don't stop. And I'm sure the directors in the control room or the people in the control room were like, do we fucking just cut to like all the pre-tape stuff and just like forget the live show? And like they probably had like all of these like crazy moments backstage, but it's like, what's the right thing to do?
They've got Billy Crystal and Martin Short in a glass box, just like,
they're like, put us in, we're ready. They're like on a basketball like bench. Let's go. With the towels around their neck and shit. Dude, that's so funny. They should totally have hosts in the chamber in case something like this happens. And honestly, I wouldn't
back up.
Yeah, because I wouldn't have been surprised if we didn't see Chris Rock again after that moment. You know what I mean? Like, because I even asked people, because I wasn't watching it. I was like, did Chris Rock come back out after that? Like, there's a world where he didn't come back out after that, right?
Well, he wasn't a host. He was just a presenter. He was just presenting.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, just in that moment. Yeah, he wasn't the host. He was a presenter.
See, this is how little I know about.
He was a presenter making jokes. And when I said Amy Schumer, it's because she was hosting with Wanda Sykes and Regina King. Regina King, is that her name?
Okay, so he could disappear. Regina King from like Watchmen and stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, so wait. Okay, shit. That changes things a little bit.
Yeah. That's a different. It makes it a little bit. Yeah.
But to be fair, I want to say Chris Rock was still up there doing a stand-up routine. Like, and it wasn't his first joke. So there was a lead up to that moment.
If you guys were at a comedy club and you saw an audience member get up, walk on stage, assault the performer, and then sit back down like everything was fine, would you feel comfortable laughing for the rest of the performance, or would you want to see that person removed by security for your own sake? I want
that person gone.
Yeah.
But what if that person was Will Smith?
See, then I'd want. Yeah, I guess it is Will Smith. I mean,
he must have had a reason. It's Will Smith.
I guess we have to have like. We could be mad at whatever, have whatever opinion you want about it. But like, for me, it's like, it would be nice to have a little bit of empathy I mean, obviously Will Smith fucked up and I think it's stupid and he shouldn't have done that. But like, there's gotta be, I just feel bad for him too, you know?
I don't think
and I think,
oh, go ahead.
Okay.
No, you.
I think when the absurdity and the shock of an event, that when that vial gets filled, there's no real I don't have any anger at anybody. It's just like I think a lot of people genuinely kind of in shock. Like it's just like
yeah.
beyond angry. Like I don't like the like, oh, Will Smith is like a terrible person now. It's like on the list of things that Will Smith has done that are bad. He's got pissed off at guys known for years on behalf of his wife, and it's like not to defend, but at the same time, it's like in the grand scheme of things, these are two highly successful individuals who were engaged in a pretty embarrassing event.
Fascinating cultural moment.
Yeah, fascinating cultural moment. There you go. That's the headline, I think.
Yep.
It's just like, yeah.
It's just a weird looking slap.
We've had this music playing the whole time during this
conversation. Yes, we have.
Yeah.
Because it's just, it's really nice to reflect.
Wait, we're pretty close to being done here, but Ellie, I want to ask you, because we do know that he's going through therapy and he's admitted to such. What do you think? Because I feel like you've got your finger on the pulse of therapy and those type of conversations. What do you think the therapist says to Will Smith on the couch the first time after this event?
I'm raising my prices.
I think we're done. I think we're done here.
And that's our time.
Oh god!
I have no idea.
How do you handle that?
I think a lot of that therapy stuff for celebrities, I can't imagine most of them, or many of them at least, not being like you have to be empathetic to your patient. That's like rule number one. No matter what they say, you have to be like on their side a little bit to get them comfortable to speak. But sometimes I think that bleeds over into just telling them that they're perfect all the time. And I don't know what kind of therapy, Will Smith is in, but I have a hard time believing celebrities aren't drawn into therapy, the kind of like positive reinforcement in every way. So I don't know.
Interesting take.
I don't know if he'll have guilt or not, but
he just fist bumps him. He's like, nice.
Yeah. That's what we've been working on. Let that anger out.
I feel bad for everybody. I feel bad for Chris Rock too. Obviously.
Yeah, there's no winner here.
I feel bad for Jada. I feel bad for Will. I feel bad for
There's no winner here. I mean, Will Smith is literally the winner.
He did win. He did win.
Well, yeah,
but symbolic.
But that win is tainted by a fucking slap forever.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And the PR space. Did you see the photo of like right between in the commercial break? It's the PR person just immediately like beelines it to Will, and it's just like and then the speech comes out, and it's just like, oh yeah, that's okay. That's what an angle.
Yeah. Anywho, that was fun.
All right, that was fun, guys. Don't hit people. How about that? Can we land on that? Is that a good moral?
Yeah, don't hit people, and comedians are doing a bit when they go up on stage and they say jokes and stuff. And I think earlier Elliot was saying, I don't agree that comedians should be untouchable and should be off limits or whatever.
Well, I agree with that in the sense that they shouldn't be hit. I just didn't mean people make it all about comedians.
Well, because people are saying there's a big topic in the comedy world right now about should comedians be able to make all types of jokes because it's like a job and it's not whatever. And so I'm sure there's going to be a lot of discussion about joking about someone's illness and their whatever, things like that. And is it okay to make jokes like that from Chris Rock's perspective? And it's I don't know, man. I think that a comedian has a weird kind of, maybe they have a shield on while the show goes on.
If he knew, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt because I feel like he's smart enough and he's funny enough to know that if he actually knew what she was going through and was on the pulse of that, he wouldn't have made that joke. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, potentially.
Because it was because it was in real bad taste and it wasn't funny really anyways. But if he knew, that's going for the jugular in a way that it's just, again, it's not funny as a comedian and it's low hanging fruit.
But yeah, because that's the thing. Think about Chris Rock and his jokes in the past, and think about how those moments are meant for get your good roast jokes out. And it's that's not a good roast joke if you don't know why her hair is like that, it's only a good roast joke if you know it's oh shit, she's sick and he's making a tasteless joke.
But you do that at a roast, you don't do that at the Oscars. Again, venue and time
sure
matters.
Yeah. Damn. It's so interesting. Regardless, for us movie lovers and spectacle lovers, it was certainly an exciting night, and I think people will be talking about it for a while and making jokes about it and diving deep into it. But how do you? So the thing is like, how do you spin this into something that's like a learning situation, right? Especially when you're Will Smith and you're like seen as, for a lot of children and a lot of like families, as like
that's the most negative aspect of it all, right?
Like he's a good influence on children and young people and things like that.
And again, it just goes back to like the horrible we're living in. Like, again, it's not okay, but it's just another example of a lot of people will take that as if it's okay.
Right.
It's just not. So
it speaks to it's just general lowering of all the collective norms, the cultural norms that we abide by, that we've gotten by with fairly well. And some of them are keepers.
And
like, don't hit people. It just reminds me of the ending of G.I. Jane, with the moral of that.
Honestly, I think G.I. Jane was a great thing to bring up, because the whole story about G.I. Jane is is overcoming persevering against the odds.
There you go.
So let's leave on a would you rather to kind of push away from this Will Smith thing, but you have to forgive us for this Will Smith chat, because we three haven't talked about it. It just happened for us, like we said, and like there's so much more to say about it, but whatever, we can't keep talking about it. But all right, Elliot and Joe and the audience, would you rather gain $100 every time you sleep, or $50 every time you brush your teeth?
Sleep. Well, I suppose I could really.
You brush your teeth like 8 times a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be, if I changed nothing, it'd be the same amount of money, right?
Yeah.
So I guess I'd do
taking a little nappy.
If our dentists are
true.
recommending, yeah.
I know. Well, yeah, you go with the brush. Depending on the technicalities of the brushing, if there's like I rinse my toothbrush off and start again, that's number 2. Dude, I could make some money.
Unless the dollars show up in my mouth when I brush teeth, or if they show up under my pillow. Yeah.
And it's all quarters.
I know, it's got to be that monkey's paw aspect. Although there is something kind of nice about like going to sleep and then waking up and there's a crisp $100 bill like under your pillow or something.
That's nice.
And you're like, I'll just put that in the vacation fund. You know what I mean? All right. Well, anything you guys want to say?
Nope. I got to say goodbye. I got to go to my job.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so much for listening to the show and supporting us in any way that you have, or in the past, present, or future. Any updates on movie game? I saw you tweet something.
Yeah, we sent out the final survey from Quartermaster Logistics, which is our fulfillment center for the U.S. and Canada backers. Everywhere else can take a little bit more time, but that means that it's shipping out like real soon, and people are going to have it in their hands.
I can't wait. Once you get them, please show us photos of them and how happy you are to have them in your hands, because that would make us feel real good.
I can't wait. And also, as a slight announcement, I will be performing a smidge of stand-up comedy at the Tampa Improv on April 7th. I will be opening for Grace Helbig and Mamrie's Hearts. Let's not get too weird. April 7th.
Cool. That's awesome. Where?
At the Tampa Improv on April 7th.
That's awesome.
I believe it's a Thursday. Should be fun.
You gonna see some family while you're over there?
Yeah, it'll be fun. My parents get to see Grace and Mamrie do their show, and I'm stoked.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, it'll be nice.
And you can't go to Florida without seeing your family.
Exactly. Literally.
I hope
Even
your
if anyone
parents
wants to
enjoy
throw around-
raw sexual exhibitionism.
Well,
Yep,
yeah, if you guys
and-
want to see that good time, get the hell out
and
there.
then Grace and Mabry will get on stage. Yeah,
Hey, Elliot, is it a ticket situation? Like you can buy tickets or something right now?
you can. Yeah.
All
And,
right. Well,
We'll put that in
Somewhere.
the
I'll
put
put the
that
link
down
in.
in the link.
put it in the link or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And if I say something on stage, please don't come up and hit me. How about that,
Don't
guys?
yeah, or don't.
You
Are you gonna-
slap
are you
me
gonna
across
write-
the face?
Are you gonna add that into your
Man.
thing?
Yeah.
You gonna
Yeah.
talk about that at the show?
Oh, absolutely. I think you have. I think every comic's gonna mention it
Every
for quite a
comedian
while.
has to. Yeah.
The last point of like going back to 2012 era, like SourceFed and doing this stuff. What we also get in 2012 is a Key and Peele take on this situation, and that sketch would have been amazing.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe SNL will do something.
The only thing one lesson I'm curious about is if in all of Chris Rock's decades of doing stand-up comedy, if he's ever experienced anything like that, and if the one time he experienced it was Will Smith, I think that's very interesting, and I'd like to hear him talk about it.
Yeah. Do you think one day it'll be
Yes.
like, you got slapped by Will Smith? Like that'll be the discourse? Like that'll be the kind
I hope so. All right.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. We appreciate
Bye, guys.
you.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.